The moment David saw the message, not just read it, but felt it, as if a fist wrapped in ice had slammed into his chest, he knew it was over. Not just the marriage. Not just the trust. But his old life. The one where he woke up every morning with the quiet certainty that everything was under control. The one where he still considered himself happy, even if routine had dulled the edges. The one where, at 46, he still called his wife baby and believed she did the same for him in her thoughts, even if she hadn't said it aloud in years. The message appeared on his phone because Emily had left it charging in the kitchen while forgetting hers in the bedroom. A mistake. Catastrophic. A simple slip of human distraction that, in 10 seconds, turned him from a confident husband and father into a man standing on the edge of an abyss. Still thinking about you. About your hands. Your lips. Couldn't focus at work today. I need you again. Soon? Sender, Mark. Colleague. The tan, easy-smiling guy in his early 30s with perfect teeth and a habit of rolling up his sleeves like he'd just stepped out of a cologne ad. David had seen him only a couple of times at Emily's company party, laughing too loudly near the drink table with a plastic cup of wine. Now David knew he hadn't been laughing at a joke. He'd been laughing at him. David didn't yell. Didn't smash the phone. Didn't storm into the bedroom to wake her and demand answers. He simply sat on the edge of a kitchen chair, placed the phone on the table, and stared at it like it was a ticking bomb. His hands didn't shake. His heart beat slowly, heavily, as if a cold, foreign engine had started up inside his chest. He'd been with Emily for 19 years. 18 of them married, with rings and courthouse signatures. They'd met in college. He'd studied engineering, she'd majored in graphic design. Back then, she'd worn thin-rimmed glasses and collected pens in every color. He remembered their first kiss, in the library, between shelves of economics textbooks, and how she'd whispered, "If we get caught, I'll kill you." Then she'd laughed, and he'd known he was in love. They'd had 2 daughters, Sarah and Lizzie. Sarah, the elder, was already in college. Lizzie, still in high school, dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. They had a house with a meticulously kept garden because Emily loved order. They had Sunday family dinners, summer trips to the lake, and an aging Labrador named Buck. They had a life. And all of it had just shattered in 10 seconds of reading a text. The next morning, Emily acted completely normal. She served breakfast oatmeal with almonds and strawberries. Asked how his day had gone. Kissed him on the cheek before heading to work. Even said, "Love you," with that warm smile he used to take for granted. He nodded. Smiled back. Walked out the door feeling something new growing inside him, not pain, not rage, but resolve. He wasn't going to scream. Wasn't going to demand a divorce. And he certainly wasn't going to forgive. He was going to get revenge. Slowly. Methodically. So she'd feel every ounce of what he'd felt. So she'd understand. Betrayal is easy. Surviving it? Nearly impossible. He took his first step that very night. He created a new social media account under a fake name, uploaded a neutral profile picture, and filled out minimal details. Then he sent a friend request to Mark. The younger man accepted it instantly, confident, careless, blind to danger. Within days, David began messaging him, first harmless comments under posts, then private messages. He posed as a sales manager from another state, recently relocated, looking to make friends. Mark replied eagerly. He loved to brag, especially about his new connection with a woman who finally gets me on the deepest level. David showed no emotion. He played his role. And Mark, like a fish on a hook, swallowed the bait whole. His second step was observation, not physical stalking. He didn't lurk in hallways or cut her off at the grocery store. He simply watched. Through his daughter's social feeds. Through the shared family calendar in the cloud. Through her routines. He knew she went to the gym on Wednesdays. Took cooking classes on Thursdays. And on Friday nights, she always left for a girls' night out. He'd never questioned it before. Now he took notes. Within a week, he had confirmation. Friday nights were for Mark. At a small motel on the edge of town, the same one where he and Emily had stayed for their 15th anniversary, trying to rekindle the romance. The third step was the hardest. He had to keep up appearances. Remain the husband. Kiss her goodnight. Ask how her day was. Pretend to care about her work. You look tired tonight, he said one evening after she returned from class later than usual, her hair damp, a faint flush on her cheeks. Just a lot of homework, she replied, avoiding his eyes. He nodded. Inside, everything boiled. Outside, ice. He didn't want to destroy the family. Not yet. The girls were innocent. And Buck still wagged his tail when Emily entered a room. But he could no longer live inside a lie. And he'd decided, his revenge wouldn't be in shouting or scandal. His revenge would be in truth. Sarah came home for the weekend. She'd sensed the tension for months, calling her dad, asking if everything was okay. He'd brushed it off with jokes. Now he knew the time had come. Dad, you look off, she said over dinner. Are you sleeping? Yeah, he said. Just work. He couldn't tell her the truth. Not yet. But he'd begun to notice things. Lizzie had grown quiet too, retreating to her room more often. Even Buck seemed nervous, barking softly whenever Emily got too close to his food bowl. Animals sense betrayal before people do. Meanwhile, David kept messaging Mark. He pulled everything out of him, dates, details, even photos. In a burst of ego, Mark sent a mirror selfie from the motel, my M scrawled in lipstick across the glass. David saved it all. Stored it in an encrypted folder. He wasn't planning to blackmail. He was planning to obliterate. He chose Sunday. Family dinner. Just like always. Sarah home. Lizzie setting the table. Emily in her apron, baking her famous pumpkin pie. Everything as it had always been except now, a ghost sat at the table. When everyone was seated, David turned on the laptop sitting on the kitchen counter. What's this? Emily asked, frowning. A little truth, he said quietly. He opened a video, a montage of Mark's messages, screenshots, photos, and grainy security footage from outside the motel. He'd called in a favor from an old friend in security. All chronological. All unfiltered. Emily went pale. She stood up. You've been spying on me? No, he said. I just started watching. You showed me everything yourself. Sarah covered her mouth with her hand. Lizzie stood and walked out, slamming the door behind her. Emily collapsed into her chair, tears welling in her eyes. It was a mistake, David. I didn't mean to. I just what? He cut in. Got bored? Decided you deserved something better? Who is he to you, your soulmate? Or just a way to feel young again? She had no answer. You didn't just break us, he said. You broke them. He nodded toward his daughters. He didn't shout. Didn't cry. He spoke calmly, clearly, like an engineer explaining a mechanical failure. But every word carried pain. And vengeance. I won't leave. Not right away. We'll divorce, of course. But not now. Not until Lizzie graduates. Not until Sarah's settled. Because I'm a father. And you're just a woman who betrayed her family for a few hours with a boy who doesn't even know your daughter's names. He closed the laptop. Starting tonight, you sleep in the guest room. And if you ever mention his name in this house again, I'll file for divorce tomorrow. No discussion. Weeks passed in glacial silence. Emily tried to talk. Left notes. Brought him coffee in the mornings. He gave nothing back. He simply looked through her. Lizzie barely spoke to her mother. Sarah called less often. Buck now slept at the foot of David's bed. And David began to change. He joined a gym. Took time off work to drive Lizzie to college interviews. Started reading books he'd postponed for years. He wasn't looking for love. He was looking for the man he'd been before he became Emily's husband. One evening, Emily came into his study. I'm leaving, she said. He looked up. Where? My sister's. For a few weeks. To think. He nodded. Okay. Do you hate me? No, he said. I just don't see the woman I married anymore. She left. An hour later, he heard her car drive away. 3 months passed. She didn't return. She called the girls once a week. Occasionally texted David brief, practical messages. Pick up the water bill. Sign Lizzie's school form. He replied in one word. Then one day, he received an email from Mark. Emily left me. Said it was all a mistake. Said you were better. That she'll never understand how she could betray you. I don't get it. I thought she loved me. Now I just feel like a fool. Sorry if this is weird, writing to you. But I had to say it, you won. David didn't reply. He simply deleted the message. This morning, he brewed coffee as usual. Buck lay at his feet. Lizzie had left for a summer internship in another state. Sarah had texted a photo of her first office. David smiled. The pain was gone. So was the anger. Only peace remained. Revenge hadn't given him back his past. But it had given him back his future. And sometimes that's enough.